And we live. All right. How y'all doing? I usually wait 1 minute or two and get this thing started. So if this popping up on your timeline, go ahead and tune in, like, share, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and let's do this thing.
Huh.
Hey, Shay. Every time you come, I be forgetting how to say your name. Hey, Shay. Ellison, thank you so much for all the love and support you show on every self love journey. Big Juicy in the building. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, Lord. So hey, we got a couple of them in here. That's all we need. So we gonna get started. So how y'all doing? Welcome to the self love journey. Conversations with Shei Atkins, where we learn how to have a healthy relationship with ourselves. Where I talk to people from all walks of life who just share their journey to let you know that you're not alone in what you're going through. We all going through some, been through some, come from different backgrounds. And so I think it's good to hear different people's story to encourage you. And because the scripture said we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. So you're not the only one going through some things. But today I have Miss Rachel Chisum. Look at it. She already tearing up. Cause look, pain is something. So I know Rachel, I've been on her for a few years, but we was talking on Sunday and I just wanted her to share her testimony and her journey to self love. If you read, thank you, Shaves. Your songs have been getting me through this grief journey. I'm so grateful. Losing my papa, I found peace. Thank you so much for listening to my song. I try to be a vessel of healing to help others heal their hearts as well as use my gift of singing and music to heal my own heart. But if you've read the description, in the description when it comes to Rachel Chisholm, I say that she was born in Ethiopia and they found her on the side of the road in Ethiopia. So I was just curious to know her journey to self love. Considering that you were abandoned at birth and not knowing who your birth parents are, I'm not sure, but we're gonna find out today as she shares her story. So y'all pray with us, pray for her. Because it's hard. Trying to get through life without knowing your parents. So let's get into your journey to self love, Rachel.
So without
Let's talk.
without knowing your
Let's get
biological
into it.
parents.
Yeah, your
Yes.
biological
Okay.
parents. Yeah.
Right. But you know what? And that's not difficult for me because I did not ever know them. That
Mm.
wasn't ever a problem for me because I always thought, well, like Montel Williams said on his show when I took my mom on there in it was either '99 or 2000 for Mother's Day.
Mm.
Montel said he just thought I had a little more of a tan than my mom, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why my skin was or is a bit darker. And but you know, everybody knows, when you see my family and then you see me and one of my brothers, the other one who's adopted, you know that we're different races, but that
Mm.
made no difference, and it makes no difference in my mind as far as
Okay.
or in their minds either, because they love me. I am their daughter. I am their child, their only daughter at that, their youngest child at that. So,
Mm-hmm.
and they treat me that way. They always treated me that way. My big brothers always did. And so I have no problem with it. I
Okay.
have no problem with really not knowing who my biological parents are. Because
Mm.
there's no way that I could ever go back. People have asked me, over years and years and years, people have asked me, you ever want to go back and find your parents? How the heck am I going to find my parents? I don't even know my name. They found me on the side of the street. I mean, it's completely impossible. So all I know about my DNA is because my brother and sister-in-law, they sent me a DNA kit um a couple of years ago, and I'm like 98% Ethiopian and 2% Somali, and
Mm.
that's what I know. That's all I need you to know. I don't care about anything else. So
Yeah.
I'm cool.
Okay, that's
I'm
what's
not
up then,
tripping.
right?
Yeah, yeah. So I have, and actually for years I've been doing this. I've been thinking. I don't know if it was my mother, if my biological mother, if it was a grandmother or a dad, grandfather, whoever left me on the side of the street. I said it years ago, and I say it to this day. Thank you, and I
That's the right
mean that.
thing.
And I definitely mean that because I don't know what would have happened to me, if they continued to try to raise me. I'm seriously,
That's the right attitude to
so
have.
yeah, thank you, Shay. I mean, and that's the attitude that God gave to me, and I thank Him for giving me that attitude. So I'm not a bitter person, and that's the thing is that everything that I've been through, and I'm gonna let y'all know things that a couple of things that I've been through. I'm just not a bitter person. It's not worth it. It's not worth going through that. It's not worth doing yourself like that.
Yeah.
Just deal with things. The best way that you can, just ask God to give you that strength to go. And I know that's why He put me in the situation, or yeah, the situations that I've been through.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me the strength to deal with them because
Yeah.
life has not been easy. If for those who are like we're friends on Facebook, y'all know some of the struggles I've been through in life. And I'm not being selfish by saying this because we all have struggles. It's just that God gave me this special gift to deal with, a lot of the struggles that a lot of the problems that I've had, and I
Mm-hmm.
thank him for it. I thank him that he gave me those, or that I went through those problems and not somebody else. Because if another woman had, she may not have been able to deal with them like I have. She may
Mm-hmm.
not have had the faith in God and the love from her family and her friends to deal with it like I have, like I am, and like I
Mm-hmm.
know I will continue because they're not going to stop. That
Yeah.
that's one thing that I know. Struggles will not stop ever. Long as we're on this earth, they're always going to be here. Whether it's health issues, whether it's personal issues, social issues, uh, financial issues, whatever, they're not going to stop. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm ready. I'm ready
That's
to deal
it.
with them.
That's it. Now you mentioned that
Yes,
you had went on the Montel Williams show,
yes.
and what was that
I
about?
had taken my mom on there.
Now your mom,
I
your
had
your
taken
your mom that adopted you, or your
Yes. Yeah, yeah. My adopted mom, because I don't know my biological family. I I don't know where they are, in Ethiopia or somewhere. But yeah, I took my adopted mom. That's my mom. I took her on there. She thought it was for biracial adoption because my family is Caucasian. The ones who adopted me, of course,
mm-hmm.
and and she thought that's what the show was about, was biracial adoption. But when we got there, we were sitting on the stage, and Montel, after a little of the conversation went on, Montel said, "Okay, he was like, this is." He told her, he said, "Do you know why you're here?" She said, she's, well, I thought, you know, and he said, "Well, you thought you were here for biracial adoption, but let me tell you the reason why you're really here." He said, and then he pointed to, they had an overview tape, and well, actually they just showed a slideshow of all these pictures that my dad had sent in, like from my birth, or my adoption, excuse me, not my birth, but my adoption, when when they brought me back to America, or brought me to America, and growing up, and things that I've been through, and
Mm-hmm.
starting with, and they actually highlighted my car accident in 1989,
Mm.
which was like real. real severe. So, because I was
Mm-mm.
in a coma for 2 months
My
after
Lord.
that, because of that, yeah, because of that accident, uh,
Mm.
the injuries that I suffered, yeah. So it was, and everything that I went through, you know, and everything that I've been through in life, period. My family has always been here for me. My daddy, unfortunately, he's no longer with us. Um,
Mm.
God took him home. Uh, um, um, sorry.
It's okay. It's all right.
Um, God took him home June 2nd, 2016. He had been in the hospital for like a week or maybe 2 weeks or something like that. He had gotten sick, really sick, which
Mm.
surprised us all because they used to call my dad Ranger Dave because he was like all over the world and climbing mountains, hiking, doing all kinds of things, crazy stuff
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So, and that was something that I had to deal with. But I'm good with it.
Yeah.
But I'd like to, if it's okay with you, Shay, I'd like to talk about from my first tragedy, triumph, but it was a triumph. It became a triumph.
Go
Over the
ahead.
tragedy, as I mentioned, my car accident. It was June
Mm-hmm.
9th, 1989, at 12:28 p.m. Myself and three friends from high school, we decided to leave school early, skip
Mm.
school,
Mm-mm.
and I know.
Uh-oh.
And so we're riding around this and that, and I don't remember it. I don't even remember. I still don't remember that day, but from what I've read and what I've heard, what's been what was in newspapers and so forth, we were making a left turn, and this milk tank was coming off the freeway, so going at a pretty high rate of speed, and we didn't yield the right of way, like I said, and he ran
Mm-mm.
into us,
My Lord.
and or we turned into his path, and I was in the back passenger seat on the side where he hit us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the girl who was in the front seat, she didn't make it.
Mm, Lord.
She had, yeah. And the girl who was next to me, she was in a coma for maybe a week, I think it was, from what I heard. And then,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I was in a coma for a couple of months, and I went to uh, a rehabilitation hospital in another state. I was there for 3 months, um, learning how to walk and talk. I mean, completely like I was just being born. I had to
Lord.
learn how to walk and talk all over again. And
Wow.
I mean, and everything, walk, talk, read, learn, write, everything.
Mm.
And, but God brought me through, and yeah. And,
Amen.
so, and then I had outpatient therapy for 5 months once I went home,
What kind of
going to
therapy you
school half
said?
the day, outpatient
Oh,
therapy.
outpatient. Okay.
I, like, yeah, I went to school for the first half of the day, and then the second half of the day I was in therapy. Um, and like I said, that was for 5 months, and this was, by this time I was in 11th grade, and because the accident happened
Mm.
at the end of 10th grade. Um,
Mm,
then
mm-mm.
that summer, the summer of 1990, um, we ended up moving to another state. My family did because my dad got another. The government, federal government, that's who we worked for, and they moved us to another state. And so I was nervous about it because no one knew about the accident that I had. No one knew that, like, going when initially when I went back to school, in 89, in October of 89, October 23rd, Monday, October 23rd was my first day back at school. And I was in classes to where slow learning classes, because I
Mm.
had to pick back up on everything. Like I said,
Yeah.
since I learned how to walk and talk again, I also had to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to learn again. So they had me in classes, like that. And I was in those classes for, you know, about those 3 or 4 months. And then I started back in my regular classes for the last couple of months. Then school ended. And like I said, that next summer of 1990, we moved to another state and to Colorado. And I was like, now I can make a brand new start. No one has to know anything, for my senior year. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what I did. I didn't tell anyone anything, and so forth. Then I completed my senior year, uh, finished, good grades and everything, graduated, and went to college. I only went to college for a year, but cause
Yeah.
that's just because it was my choice. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
said I was going to take a semester off after that one year. Girl, please,
Yeah.
I ain't been back since. That was in 1992
Lord
when I
Jesus.
got out of my first year of college.
You ain't the only one.
Still haven't been back.
So let me ask you this.
Okay, good.
What has, what has been your journey to self-love? What is your self-love journey?
Okay, well, okay. First of all, my mom used to tell me. I remember when I was growing up, my mom would tell me, or had point. She's a nurse, and she
Okay.
worked in like a. She has a background in psychology,
Mm-hmm.
so she pointed out to me that I had a low self esteem.
Mm.
Well, and I didn't understand why would I have low. Well, no, I did know why. One reason, or a couple of reasons why I had a low self esteem is because well, I don't think I was cute when I was a baby or when I was a young child
Yes, you
growing
do.
up,
Mm.
and I had a little afro and this and that, and so whatever. I just didn't think I was cute,
Yeah.
and so or cute enough, should I say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For anyone to appreciate me as a person. But I
Mm.
was always a good person, just like I am to this day. But people didn't, as kids growing up, they don't look
Uh-oh.
at your value as being a good person. They look at your value as, your outer appearance. And
Yeah. People,
that's
yeah.
how
This,
they see. Yeah, kids when we're growing up, you know, exactly. That's exactly what they see. And so I felt bad about myself,
yeah.
and it wasn't healthy for me, and I know that. I mean, I learned that many years later, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how I had to learn how to. Nah, Rachel, you got to. And it was a lot of it was involvement in church, and just by the love of God and things that He would show me. That once I got through high school, and I started and I was out on my own at
Mm-hmm.
18, 18, 19, and I went through, quite a bit,
Mm.
including May 17th, 19, yeah, May 17th, 1994. I had just left my first boyfriend of just 3 months, but I had just left him on May 14th. And on May 17th, I really just what happened that day forced me to love myself, and
Mm.
I actually did, and I realized that I did because he I had just, like I said, just left him 3 days prior, and on May 17th, he came. He saw me walking across the street from the store. He kidnapped me. Um, Beat me, sexually assaulted me, then
Mm-mm.
ultimately tried to kill me by strangling me with my own clothes and
Mm-mm.
left me for dead. He actually thought I was dead. He had I
Mm-mm.
was he had taken me to this laundry room. I was and had taken all my clothes after he thought that I was dead, and clothes, shoes, shirt, everything. And I woke up, I put a trash bag around me. I went upstairs to the lady's apartment, knocked on the door. She finally let me in after first refusing, talking about I don't want to get involved. And I just said, ma'am, I just want to use your phone, please. She let me in, asked me if I wanted a drink. I said, just some water, a glass of water, please. I go in there, I call the police, and, you know, 1 year, 7 months, uh, 1 year, no, yeah, 1 year, 7 months, 5 weeks, I believe, and 3 days later, he he got charged
Mm.
with 10 years kidnapping and 2 years sexual assault. So, but that was something. And during that time, while it was going through the courts, because I pressed charges myself. The police told me, you don't have to press charges. We'll do it. I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna do this. This
I know
brother
that.
tried, this person, trying
I
to take
know
my
that's right.
life.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm a child of God. You ain't trying to take God's child from here.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
I don't think so.
All
So,
right.
I had to stand up for myself.
Come on
Yeah.
now.
And, I did what I had to do. And but they told me um hours before that specific court hearing, after all that time, almost 2 years, or just over a year and a half
Hmm.
going to and from court, the DA's office called me early that morning. They said, okay, yeah, we have the hearing coming up this morning. We're just letting you know we're going to offer him a plea bargain. And I had mixed feelings about
Hmm.
it, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll be cool with that. At least it's going to end some kind of way. It needs
Hmm.
to. This has gone on too long. They offered him a plea bargain, 10 years kidnapping, 2 years sexual assault,
Mm-mm.
and whatever. Okay, so I said, all right, fine. I thought I was cool with that,
Yeah.
but you know, 5 years later, or no, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, it was 5 years after, or 5 years after it happened, 1990, April of 1999. It was still on my mind. Of course, I'm not ever
Mm.
going to forget. I mean, it's still on my mind to this day. But
Mm.
and I'm not ever going to forget about it, which is good for me. And so in April of '99, I called the DA's office, told them who I was. They knew who I was once I said my name, because I had been calling all that time.
Mm-mm.
When the trial was going on and so forth,
Yeah.
I made myself known.
I know that.
So I told them, I said, mm-hmm. I said, is there anything that I can do? Y'all gave him a plea bargain, or y'all offered him a plea bargain. Of course, he took it. His attorney, whatever, took it. I said, but is there anything I can do to speak, to say something, to stand up for myself personally?
Hmm.
They said he goes up for parole May 18th of this year. So that's 5 years and one day after it happened. So I said, okay, I'll try to come to the parole hearing. I got off the phone with them probably for about 2 hours. Then I started typing a letter, and I faxed it and I mailed it both or all to the police department, the detectives who were on the case, to the um all the way up to the governor of the state of Colorado. It was to 5 people, but the last one was the governor of the state of Colorado, who was Bill Owens in 1999. And I said, I requested that they send me a plane ticket to, go to the parole
Hmm.
hearing.
Hmm.
I should. Why do I have to come up with the money?
Hmm.
Provide the money for a plane ticket.
Hmm.
And May 17th, 1999, I'm flying out there because they agreed. I got a phone call. It was within like 1 or 2 hours. I got a phone call.
Hmm.
They said, "Yeah, we got you." I said, "All right, cool." And I flew out there. I said, extend the ticket, please, for a week because that's going to be my visit to see my mom that year. You
Mhm.
know, I usually fly out there every year to, see her anyway, but
Mhm.
I wanted that to be my summer trip. Shoot. I went out there, flew out there the next morning, May 18th. We woke up that morning. Well, I was already up. I
Mhm.
barely slept that night. I had so much adrenaline in me because just
Mhm.
looking forward to this situation. I had been praying about it since I was told that they were going to send me a plane ticket. I had this adrenaline for over a month that finally I can see him, I can speak to him, I can do what I got to do. You know,
Mm.
speak for myself.
Yeah.
Hold up a second, brother. You put your hands on the wrong somebody. I,
Lord.
so yeah, yeah. So they did that there. I went out there. Or excuse me, I woke up that morning. My mom was up. We ate breakfast. Went to the prison. Walked in the prison cafeteria. Or were led in there. The parole board was sitting along like a long table or whatever, and they were sitting there, and so we walked in. Then Terrence, excuse me, the guy was sitting in one chair. Then there were two chairs like next to him, and so I led my mom to the chair further away from him. I went and I sat down right next to him.
Mm-mm.
I sure did, because I'm like, brother, I'm not. Look, I ain't scared of you. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? I don't
Lord
know who
Jesus.
you thought you were fooling, baby. Come on now, I'm a child of
Lord.
God, like I said. So, and he picked up his chair, kind of moved it to the side, moved it away from me. But that was cool because now we were face to face.
Mhm.
You know, the chairman of the board told me, he get offered. Well, he introduced everybody and whatever, whatever. Then he said, "Go ahead and speak, Miss Chisholm." And I said, "No, mm-mm." Because I'm in my mind, I said, I'm getting the last word,
Mm.
not him.
Mm.
I'm getting the last word this time.
My, my,
So,
my.
he goes on, the board is like, what are you going to do with your life and this and that? And he talking about, I'm going to better my life and da da da. And I don't even know what else he was saying. I wasn't really paying attention. I don't care.
Mhm.
Ooh, next thing you know, I mean, it's like God had this light shining on me when
Mhm.
that chairman of the board said, "Go ahead and speak, Miss Chisholm."
Mhm.
Ooh, I'm telling you, and I spoke. I had everything written down that
Me
that
too.
I had to say to him. And I told him, I don't hate you for what you did. I pray that you don't ever do this to another female because quote unquote, some of my words were, one of my sentences was, she may not have the faith in God and the love from her family and friends to make it through as I have. Mm. And
Mm-mm.
I told him, I said, I don't hate you for what you did. For what you did, I pray for you.
Mm.
And at the end, I spoke to the parole board. Basically, I told them, I don't care what y'all do. I mean, we're in different. In my mind, I'm like, we're in different states anyway. I don't care if
Mhm.
I live next door to him. I ain't worried about him anyway. God's got me. He done brought me this far. Yeah, through all this. So I'm like, all right, I'm good. And uh, I got through saying what I had to
Mhm.
say. The the chairman, he said whatever to close everything up. Then the or the officer, detention officer, came and escorted him, stood him up. As soon as he stood up, I stood up at the same time, just like my mom did. I watched him all the way out the door,
Mhm.
or down the way through the room. He went through that door. I watched him until he turned that corner. I could not see his head anymore. I was making sure that,
Mhm.
and then that he was, you know, gone. And
Yeah.
then the chair, as my mom and I were about to leave, the chairman said, "Do you want to know our decision?" I said, "Well, I thought you said, when we were in front of the guy who did that, that you'd send us letters." He said, "Oh, we will, but we're going to tell you right now." He said he's not getting out until his mandatory parole date. Oh, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That news to me right there. When I oh my y'all just don't know.
Yeah.
My mom. Okay, I walked out. We walked out of that prison cafeteria, or outside of that prison. I walked outside. We're in Colorado, north of Denver. I walk out, beautiful mountains to the west, and I'm just looking at God, and I'm noticing for the first time in 5 years the beauty that God has left us with, has given to us, has blessed us with. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and so I finished my vacation. We went up to their cabin, one of their their cabin at that time that was in the mountains. And it was so peaceful. Then I came back home, back to Houston, and been living my life ever since. And things have been fair. I'm
Yeah.
not going to complain.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I will say though, on April 5th, 2013, I was held up. It was about 9:23, 24 at night.
Mm-hmm.
I was on my way home and I was held up at gunpoint.
Mm-mm.
The gentleman, or the guy, I'm not even going to say gentleman because no, he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. He held me up at gunpoint, asked for my wallet, didn't
Mm-hmm.
even ask for my purse, asked for my
Mm-hmm.
wallet. So I handed it to him, and he ran off. Okay, whatever. I went upstairs, called the police, and did what I had to, took care of my business. Did what I had to do.
Yeah.
And honestly, Shay, I thought to myself, well, that's really not bad. I mean, he took you know, uh, something of mine. He didn't hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
He just Okay, he got my wallet. Oh, and then some police officer. I went upstairs, like I said, and I called the police, and they came and I filed that report. I also called a friend of mine who was a sheriff, who used to be a sheriff. He
Mm-hmm.
came and spent the night with me. He slept in the front room,
Mm-hmm.
um, so that I'd feel guarded. Had
Yeah.
brought his piece with them, and
Mm-hmm.
I was, but but just after I called the police, and then I called my friend to come over, um, a couple of police officers showed up in my place and brought me my wallet with my
Mm-mm.
insurance cards in it, and because they found it, like on the other side of the freeway.
Mm.
So the
Yeah.
guy who took it, whatever. At least I got my insurance cards back. I ain't got to worry about replacing that. I just had to replace my driver's license and my bank card, which
Mm-hmm.
I immediately had cut off, and my credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately had those cut off. So
Mm-hmm.
it really wasn't that bad of an incident. I mean, although at that moment I was in shock, but once I went upstairs and I was able to sit down, I calmed down. I was like, okay, whatever. At least he didn't physically harm me,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that may not be too good of a thing to say to people,
Mm-hmm.
because some people, that's all, that may be quote unquote all that they go through in life is, they're mugged, and it's a terrible thing. Don't get me wrong, especially a female on her own, because
Mm-hmm.
like me, I didn't come home at night for, it was at least almost the next year by myself. I would not come home at night when it was
Yeah.
dark outside. No, they had to change my work schedule and
Wow.
everything, because I was like, I refuse.
Yeah. So even
So
though,
because I had to take care of me.
yeah. So even though you say
Go ahead.
you glad to have your life, it still kind of traumatized you to a place of just coming home.
Right,
Coming
exactly,
home. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. That's what
So
trauma does.
yeah, and even to this day, like, that was back in 2013 that happened. But even to this day, I very seldom come home when it's dark. And if it is dark, it's not going to be late. It's not going to be like 12, 1, or
Yeah,
1
yeah,
o'clock,
yeah.
2 o'clock in the morning. Oh
No.
no!
Yeah.
Look, wherever I am, y'all better
Yeah.
make me a pallet because
Yeah.
I'm finna lay right here and go to sleep.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So where are you?
So, but that's been my journey.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Go
finna ask
ahead.
you. Where are you on your self love journey now? Where are you on your self love journey now?
Now I'm at a point to where I am content. People know I have it on Facebook all the time. I'm always smiling. I got people, they're friends of friend, people who I already know, and they asked to be my friend because, in fact, one of the guys was saying the other day, well, no, he had said this to me. Well, he said it a few times. Your smile. I always see you. You're always so happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and you're right. And I told him the other day, to his the statement that he made to me is because every day is a gift.
Mm-hmm. That's
You
right.
don't know when your last day is.
That's
We
true.
don't know when our last day is.
That's true.
And so you got to smile, period. I mean, why not be happy?
Yeah.
You know, uh, it's not worth it, to
Yeah.
not be happy. So, and to spread that joy and to know that my smile, people tell me all the time, my smile makes them smile. Things that I write, posts that I put up on Facebook, I don't put anything negative on Facebook. And
Mm-hmm.
things that I put on Facebook, just usually it's Sundays, most Sundays, I write something, whether it's spiritual, whether it's just a positive encouragement for the week. I write something for to lift people's spirit,
Yeah.
for the week, and
Mm-hmm.
hopefully it touches, just like this, what we're doing right now. This episode number 33.
Mm-hmm.
I I hope it. I mean, I don't care if it just touches one person's life,
Yeah.
one woman or one man or 50 men, 50 women, however many. I just want to touch somebody's life for them to see this and say, wow, she's been through a lot, but she's still smiling.
Yeah.
God, God's got her, and so I know that God's got me. So,
Amen. Amen.
I want someone to think that. Yeah.
Amen. So what would you say to somebody
So,
watching that might not have known, because it might have been easy for you, to be adopted and not really want to go back and see, who was my mother, who was my father.
right.
But how would you encourage somebody who is struggling with just want to know who they are and not been getting a chance to
Want to know where they came from.
grow up with
You
them?
know, it all that matters. I mean, to me, what matters the most is how I was raised, or that I was raised, that I'm
Yeah, that's
here,
powerful.
that I know God is looking out for me. Uh, you know, and then I'm blessed with such an awesome family.
Yeah,
I mean, they love me, like okay, growing up, I'm thinking, I've thought for many years, or I had thought when I was young, maybe, I just came out a little darker, some kind of way.
yeah,
I just like Montel said, when I was on his show, when he was comparing me to my mom, or my mom and I, and he said, "Well, I thought you just maybe had a little more of a tan than her,"
yeah,
quote unquote. That's what he said,
yeah,
and we all laughed it off,
yeah,
and I'm adopted.
yeah,
I mean, period. And it makes it's the love. It's that love that a child feels, or that they can feel, that you give to that child, that you who you adopt.
mm-hmm,
That love right there, it will not. That'll keep them. 9 times out of 10. I mean, because I know all people. People grow up, they
yeah,
become rebellious or whatever it is,
yeah,
and so forth, or they can, but uh, some of us, we don't. We make this choice. Like I made the choice. No, I'm gonna be a happy person.
yeah,
I am happy because I know how blessed I am. I have my family,
yeah, yeah,
and you know, it's just I don't know. I don't know how else to express it, but you know, for any of you who are adopted, any
Yeah,
other of you who are, and you're wondering who is my mother, who is my father,
yeah,
um, it if you cannot easily find them, I mean, what difference does it make? You know, you don't know who gave you up. And then even if you do
yeah,
know who gave you up for adoption or even why they gave you up for adoption, it all worked out for the best. At least
yeah,
you're not they could not take care of you. They did not want to take care of
yeah.
you.
Right,
So
right,
you
right.
gotta know you're in a better place.
Yeah,
So yeah. Um, but Shay, can I do I have time to read something that I
yeah.
wrote like many, many years ago?
What you wrote? What you got?
Um, yeah. This is a poem that I wrote probably about actually it was yeah, it was at least 20 just over 20 years ago.
Okay,
It's an autobiography really in one
okay,
page.
okay.
Um, the title is Jade. Once upon a time in a land so far away, there lived a sweet girl by the name of Jade. She was a pretty young woman with hair so long that it cascaded gracefully down her back. As the deep brown streaks glistened in the sunlight, the silky black mane was blinding to the eye. Her body was that of a grown woman, yet her face was that of an innocent child. She had a thin nose and unusually petite lips for one of her kind. This always left strangers wondering, who was her mother? Who was her father? This beautiful young princess, what land is she from? Because of the pain she had sustained during her precious youthful life, it seemed everywhere she turned, and for each one she looked to, all the places were disappointments, and the men would break her heart. So after 2 long years, she wanted to make a new start. As Jade began the journey, she traveled the country far and wide, and when she thought she found what she was looking for, she tried to take that breath. But she soon discovered the rose petals were not on that path. She had chose the wrong direction. Once again, she packed her belongings and before she could blink, returned to since things were not different for Jade. As she would stroll through the park, nothing else was on her mind. How would she leave? When would she go? Where would she stay? What would she do? At times, she would become depressed and begin to ask herself questions. How much can you endure? How much will you take? Something happened to that sweet little girl by the name of Jade that she never thought possible, that she only read in stories and had seen in pictures. And once again, after all was said and done, she left ever returning no matter what. When she
You
reached her destination,
starting to chop up.
oh, when she reached her destination, she felt her body as she slowly exhaled for the first time in her life. Although it had only been a short while, she knew it and she felt it. She said to herself that this was it. Regardless of the many trials she knew would come, she promised to have no regrets about her decision. And when she asked God, he had no complaints, and she was trying so hard to do right by him. And when she looked for God, he was right there, and she knew he always would be. And when she noticed God, he was in all of his glory, and he promised to never leave nor forsake her. Finally, after all was said and done, the tears she cried were to give her God the glory, the honor, and the praise. Jade,
Amen. That's beautiful. That's
thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that beautiful poem. That's
You're
nice.
welcome. Thank you for this opportunity, Shay, and I mean that. Thank you so much.
I,
Finally. Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
I appreciate you for sharing your journey. It's really important, like I say, to see somebody overcome and go through something that we're struggling with. It's so encouraging and uplifting. So
I hope so.
if
I
you
hope and I
watching,
pray it is.
I encourage you to share your journey and share your story because you just don't know who you help and encourage and uplift out of the dark pit that they in. So, like you say, even if it's just one, yeah,
Exactly.
very
Exactly.
nice.
Oh, and I have one
Be
message,
encouraged
one
and
more
validated
message.
with you.
I have been wanting to say this for so many years, and it's in one of my stories that I wrote. Um, and it's to men and anyone in an abusive relationship. But of course, when I wrote it, it's to women because of what I sustained. Um, when a guy treats you, like you're trash, like you're junk, when he tells you that you're junk, that you're worthless, baby, huh? You were created by God, and God don't make no junk, huh? So you
Amen.
good, huh? You Gucci,
She came out them tears and got gangs on y'all. You hear me?
yeah.
Them tears, baby. She got, huh? That's what's up. Yeah, God don't
That's
make no
right.
junk. That's right. God don't make no
That's
junk.
right. God don't make. He created you, and He don't make no junk. So,
That's
baby,
right.
pick your head up and go on. Take care of your business.
There you go.
Shoot.
All right.
Uh,
That hood coming out that Ethiopia is gone, baby. That's that acres home coming out of you right now.
that's a FOMO.
But thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing your journey.
Thank you so
Anything else?
much again for this opportunity.
Okay, anything else you want to share before we get out of here?
Um, no, I don't have anything. I'm girl, like I said, I'm Gucci, baby. Fofo
Uh
all the time. I'm
oh.
Gucci.
Hey y'all see it? All right then. Thank y'all for tuning in to the self love journey. If you would like to share your journey to self love, you can email me at sheatkins@gmail.com, SHEI Atkins at gmail.com, and go to www.sheatkins.store. Get you some Loving Me merch. Got
I
cups,
know that's
sweatshirts,
right.
hooded hats, what it pouches, tights, workout gear. So y'all go support your girl. And until then, I holla at y'all. Thank you for
Do
tuning
it,
in.
Troy.
God bless.